नमस्ते, स्वागत छ कार्यक्रम लाइफ इज ब्युटिफुल मा राइट हियर ओन्ली अन कान्तिपुर टेलिभिजन। चलचित्र हाल आएर सम्पूर्ण राष्ट्र, संस्कृति र मानवीय सभ्यतालाई जोड्ने एक सशक्त माध्यम बन्न पुगेको छ र टेक्नोलोजीको विकासले चलचित्र निर्माण एकदमै सहज मात्र नभइकन उच्च कोटिको बन्न पुगे तापनि सृजनशीलता र कला भने एक व्यक्तिमा भर पर्ने भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि त्यस्ता सर्जकहरूको निमित्त यो सम्पूर्ण विश्व नै एक रंगमञ्च भनौं या कलाको क्षेत्र बन्न पुगेको छ। आजको मेरो ब्युटिफुल गेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ अस्ट्रेलियन अवार्ड विनिङ फिल्म मेकर, आर्टिस्ट, डाइरेक्टर, एक्टर, प्रोड्युसर मिस्टर एन्ड्रयू वेल, जसले दर्जनौं फिल्महरू बनाइसक्नु भएको छ भने सयौं इन्टरनेशनल अवार्ड्स पनि हात पारिसक्नु भइसकेको छ। एन्ड ही इज आवर गेस्ट फर द सेगमेन्ट ब्युटिफुल पीपल, सो प्लिज वेलकम हिम। Welcome to Nepal and welcome to Life is Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Nepal is beautiful, so the program says it all.
Did you always wanted to be in film industry?
Yes, I certainly did. That was my aim in life, even though I studied in a different area completely. I'm a scientist. That might sound strange, but my mother wanted me to be something where I could earn money, and I wanted to be an artist.
Tell me about your first film.
The film is called Catapult. It's like a catapulting up into the air and down. I thought this subject was fascinating as a participant. It's very exciting, leaving the ground and going and sort of being thrown up into the air and coming down again. Quite dangerous, but very exciting. And I thought this would make a good film, the vision of it. So I got someone who knew how to make films from the television area. I didn't know how to do them myself, of course. I had no idea. And he said, well, we'll put the camera on the end of the pole and see what happens. And I said, I know what happens. The sky turns around because you're twisting and turning trying to get over the bar. So we did that, and it worked out very successfully. And the film was very, very successful, commercially, in every way, artistically. The trouble is that afterwards the films my next films got less and less commercial and more in the artistic area, but not making money, you know, and I mean the world needs money, everyone needs to make money, so but my first film is very special to me, and I still show it to people. It's in all the archives and museums and things. It's called Catapult. Yes. So what was the quality of the film when you originally first started? Okay, I've been making films for such a long time. My first film was 1969, so that's 43 years. In Australia at the time there were no one was making movies. All our movies were coming from America or England. And over that time I've made lots of movies, about 30 of my own movies. And I've been involved in many, many more of other filmmakers. Technically, films were bad from Australia at that point, but they were bad in other countries as well. The sound quality was bad, everything. Before, it was always an elite art form. I started off in that area where I had to spend a lot of money to put 100 foot of film through a camera, and then had to wait for a week to see the rushes, and I made a mistake there. It wasn't any good, so I have to go back and do it again. Here you can do everything just on the spot, and it opens it up for people to make wonderful films about their own personal problems, their own aspiration. Everything's improved throughout the world. You are an artist, so what is directing film like? Yeah, directing I don't find difficult. Producing is very difficult because you're worrying about so many things going wrong all the time. I wanted to have the voice of someone who could say something that I believed in. That was why I wanted to be a director first up. As the years went by, I worked with some wonderful actors, but I also worked with some actors that weren't very good, and I thought, I can actually act as well. So I've acted in lots of movies. So in course of making films and documentaries, have you made films that can be submitted as an evidence or film that meets the reality? Yes, I think I've covered just about every area at some point. I don't think of my films as documentaries. I think of them more as personal films, but I also think that if you make a film that you relate to very much, there is a percentage of people in the world that will also relate to that subject. Might be just a very small percentage, but in this day and age, with the internet and everything, that small percentage over the entire world is enormous. So I don't think of my films as documentaries, except perhaps the one that I'm just finishing now, but I'm using that as a way of learning more about the technological possibilities. A lot of the films are fiction, drama, and as I said, I've acted in big American films, usually very small parts, but I've, big multi-million-dollar sort of films like one with Keanu Reeves and, all those big-time films. In fact, even a Bollywood film called Soldier about 20 years ago. I was a bodyguard or something tiny. I did 2 days, and when I looked at the film I couldn't find myself. But yeah, I've done all those sort of things, and it's great fun, But the serious business of indigenous filmmaking is a much more noble sort of pursuit, because you're actually trying to give a voice to people that are lacking a voice.
You've produced and directed a lot of films and documentary. You work with your own core team, or you changed the team?
Yeah, I've got people that I know that I can call up just on the day and say, look, will you come and help me? I know I can work with these people. I've worked with them before. I work as a one-person show most of the time. I can do everything myself. But depending on the movie project, either a bigger size, or if I can do it with just 1 or 2 people, that's even better.
While making a film in a larger team and with a core team, does the consistency work?
Yeah, I think directors generally have to learn to empathise with all their crew very well. That's even more important than with their actors, because the crew are what puts the whole thing together. Which
is harder, making a documentary feature or a narrative feature?
They're both difficult for the same reason, because it's film and it's art. The way documentaries are being made in Australia is very time consuming. They shoot like 200 hours of film, everything. They just film everything that's moving and everything that's not moving, and then they dump the whole lot on some poor editor, and that person's got to make a story out of it. And they cut it down to 1 hour out of 200 hours. That's a nightmare for anyone. So that's very, very difficult. I'm not interested in that. I admire people that do that, but I'm not interested in myself. I think fiction is lovely, because you've got to actually direct the actors to eye lines and who's seeing what. I think that's much more interesting. And also there's another aspect that is very important. In documentaries, say a television crew might go out and they film people talking about a big problem that's happening to them. And those people don't realise that once their face is on television, everyone knows what they've said, and it becomes a problem for them. So this is an ethical consideration, which I'm sure you people know very well, that you've got to be very careful about putting people's faces on television talking about things that they're going to be murdered for or tortured for afterwards. So this is an ethical consideration. In fiction, you can blow up the world in fiction. You can do anything you like, because people know it's fiction and you're not actually hurting other people. It's a big dilemma for television crews, knowing just how much they should show the public.
You've won hundreds of international awards. How does award help to you?
Early on, awards were very, very important to me to win them, because people said, "Oh, you're a scientist. How could you be a filmmaker?" And I'd say, well, you know, they think I'm a filmmaker in Sweden, so why won't you think I'm a filmmaker? You know, aren't I good enough in Australia? So this is a problem that happens in every country. If you win awards in a foreign place, they accept you. So that's the reason that I just kept on sending my films off to every festival.
Of course, awards always help you to have a track record of your work, right? So congratulations for all the awards you have won. In one line, why is life beautiful to you?
Is that a subject for a film? Life is beautiful? For me, life is beautiful because we can always learn something new. Probably not beautiful for everyone. We're trying to make it more beautiful. It's been beautiful for me. I really have had a good life up to this point, yeah.
Thank you so much for being in Life is Beautiful.
Thank you very much, Prava. I really enjoyed it, and it's just fantastic being in Kathmandu.